All right. So down at the bottom of the map on GSL Daybreak, we've got our OGS player. He is. That is about it for him. Can he win another game? Here in the GSL Team League, we're about to find out he has to beat this guy right here from the Team TSL, their only Zerg player.
TSL Revival.
Trying to revive his team's hopes. Did you get it, Wolf?
I actually made that joke a lot in the Super Tournament.
Oh, you
because
did?
It was, he was doing well in the Super Tournament during a time where no one else in TSL was. So and he was a newer player to the TSL at that time. So I just said, well, he's a TSL revival.
There you go. We'll see if it will be or not.
Well,
wow, just like a purple line there. You hardly ever see purple in StarCraft. You ever think about that?
I never thought about that.
Unless it's a player color.
Well, I'm worried that SCV, if that SCV bumps into that little arrow right there, do the rockets on its back like speed up, and does he fly forward? He's like, like he's building the barracks, suddenly like he gets rocketed forward and he can't build the barracks anymore, he has to come back? Or does he build the barracks faster with rockets on the back?
I think he like brushes it when he goes to one side and he like shoots off the ramp like in Mario Kart or something like that.
Yeah, man. Or F-Zero.
Yeah,
I keep talking about that game. I want to play that game again now. The story in F-Zero is really good.
All John has to do is bring it. We can play it. We've got John's Nintendo 64 at the GOM house right now.
I'm playing a lot of Star Fox. John, all right, let me guys tell you a secret about John that I just want you guys to know.
As we see this hatch first.
John tells everyone that he's good at Star Fox. John is so bad at Star Fox. He is so bad, he couldn't even beat it. John's like, oh, I have over 2,000 points. I'm like, that's really hard, John. And I'm like, you know, passionate with him. He seems passionate. I'm like, we're really good. And it was funny because I was actually hanging out with John the other day, and he told me, we had this talk about how when we were kids, when you're in elementary school and in middle school, you have an argument with someone about who's better at a game, and then you go to their house. You go to their house and you play them.
That's absolutely true.
And then sometimes you would go there, you'd play them in a best of 3, you'd beat them 3 times, it would be disgusting. You would call your mom, you'd be like, Mom, I have to go home. Jeremy is not very good. And you would just go home and you would never talk to Jeremy again. And we were talking about that, and then John, he came to the GOM house, I watched him play Star Fox, and I wanted to send him home.
Gonna call up John's mom. We want John to go home right now. He's misbehaving.
John may be good at Yu-Gi-Oh, but he is not good at Star Fox.
I know what you mean, man. I used to play a lot of Diddy Kong Racing back in the day.
That was a good game, too.
So, Bunker going up right now. It's going to be a kind of light pressure because he did get the factory up. Might kill a drone or two. Oh, he does get one drone. Very nice.
He lost the SCV, so the bunker's going to have to be canceled, but still, killing a drone there, pretty significant.
Drone for an SCV, that's the properties of equivalent exchange. It fits.
You've been continuing to watch that?
I have been. Series? I haven't had as much time the last couple days because I've actually been playing a little bit more.
Well, that's good to hear too.
Yeah, it's good to play. But it's kind of, you know, that you start watching something and then you get like really into it. So I watched the entire season in like 5 days. But now I'm like watching the rest of it slowly.
Well, that's good. It's
gotta play.
It's one of those series that when you finish it, you're going to be sad that it's over. But then you can watch Brotherhood, which is kind of like an alternate version, which is based on the manga. Huh. We'll talk more about the specifics of that later. But I know there's some Fullmetal Alchemist fans out there. I think it's definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of anime.
Yeah.
Or if you like to read manga, read the manga.
So here's the thing: is down at the base of OGS the STC, we've got a command center going up, and the question is he going to switch it back over? And he is. Okay, I was about to say, is he going to get the Blue Flame Hellion upgrade? And he is getting that Infernal Pre-Igniter.
Infernal Pre-Igniter. Well, the Hellions are going to do a little bit of harassment, but already back at the base of Revival a long while ago, he put up a Roach War, and he's prepared for this. He's making just one Roach right now, and that Roach pops out right in time.
It's like Super Roach. He's going to chase the Hellions all the way into the base. Uh-oh, he may actually lose a couple drones here. Yeah.
And in fact, he takes the drone out there. Is he going to get another one? It's the problem of only having one Roach. It's just not quite enough. Takes out 2. And if you can take these home and repair them, it'll be well worth it. Look at that Roach. That Roach is just a second too late.
Yeah, a little bit. Huh.
Well,
this is actually really similar to what we see some Slayers players doing these days. And it's becoming what we see most every Terran doing these days. It's really changing from Slayers to basically everybody.
Well, it's a new style, and that's how StarCraft evolved. StarCraft 1 evolved in a similar way. StarCraft 2 seems to be evolving even faster than StarCraft 1 did. Imagine what StarCraft 2 is going to be like when we have all the expansion packs out. I know we always mention that. A lot of people mention that, but There's a long way to go with StarCraft 2, and I am so excited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff that we haven't even seen yet, some strategies that haven't even been thought up yet. Many, many, many strategies that we haven't thought up yet. And the expansions too. Yeah.
They're going up here for Revival. These guys, 4 roaches positioned at the front. They're like the hunter killers in Brood War. Remember I mentioned that a while ago. A lot of people knew what I was talking about. That's what those roaches are like, man. They're the heroes. They're going to stop all sorts of Hellions from getting in there.
Hellions, not vultures this time around.
Yeah, no vultures. No psi emitters.
Nope.
That would be cheating. What if you could like just research a psi emitter?
Research
and then
psi emitter?
That would be not. That just wouldn't be fair. That would actually be imba.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Terran needs a huge buff. I'm just gonna stop there. I was gonna troll really hard, but I'm gonna not do that.
Well, we're gonna see that same Slayer style drop that's been discussed.
I like it a lot.
And he's got Blue Flame here. The Roach is doing a lot of damage though. The drop heading for the main. It's very difficult to execute a drop like this though on this map because there's no area where there's an overlapping kind of section. But the Queen is not prepared.
And he's actually going to drop those Marines off and then maybe go back for the Hellions. I don't know.
He only has 6 roaches right now, but kills the Overlord. There's no speedlings out.
Oh, Hellions are coming into the natural, and they might cause a little bit more damage. Wolf killing a lot of drones. There go
meanwhile,
like
the Marines in the main are killing drones.
Oh, very, very nicely done by oGs, the STC, killing so many drones.
Wow. In fact, I'll check that count for you guys. Wow, 19 workers killed.
That's pretty good.
Roach speed is about 1/3 of the way done. Plus on weapons, stim on the way for the STC. Looks like he is just powering up to go into a pretty normal tank Marine style here. I'd like to see him add another factory. He may be trying what we've seen Slayer's Boxer trade do. He hasn't made any tanks. He's still making Hellions, making Marauders instead. We may see him try to do that style. Now, of course, there aren't any Banelings out yet, only Roaches and soon to be Roaches with Roach speed. So this style, skipping the tanks, is okay at this point. There's no Banelings. You can use just mostly Marines. That'll be fine. But it's kind of cool to see this style evolving, and we haven't seen it succeed extremely well, but I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, you know, those games that Boxer played the other day against Leenock were really interesting in terms of, especially game 1 where he just did not get any tanks at all. And, you know, he lost because of control issues, not necessarily because of strategy, but forget about that. More Hellions coming in, more drones getting roasted, and this is exactly what oGs the STC needs to do. Target down those drones, get the economy even more in his favor.
Well, we were 19 before, now we're 32 workers killed. 43 SCVs to 47 drones, though he's still droning up. But you might be thinking, well, he's killed so many, well, how does he have that much? Well, it's because he has no army. He has 10 Zerglings and 12 Roaches. That's it.
Well, this is what you want to do so that when you do that push, when you move out, almost
nice micro.
You'll have a lot more than your opponent.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Marine Marauder actually is going to do quite well against Roaches. But there are some mutas coming out. There's actually 10 on the way right now. So that's going to shut down a lot of this drop. These drop possibilities for the STC.
Interestingly enough, the STC is actually down about 10 supply after all of this as well.
Huh. Well, I mean, Revival is a very good Zerg player. He knows how to macro. Making a ton of drones, saving up some gas.
Well, Roaches take up a lot of supply as well. There's a lot of different reasons why. But you can see that he hasn't slipped in his macro even a bit through all of this, and that's really what I was trying to, the point that you and I were trying to make with that.
Well, that's a player that's really not missing his injects with Zergs. I mean, you can tell when some Zergs are missing some injects because they'll be like, well, they should have more by this point. But yeah, Revival looks like he's hitting everything. Doing very well. Muta's coming in trying to do some damage, and there's not really a whole lot of defense right now for the STC at his main base.
Yeah, this is very true, but there's units for the STC that are moving around. They're scared Revival. He's sending his Mutas home. He's got some Banelings out. Baneling speed is just now starting, but combat shields aren't done. They're about to finish. They just finished. A stim goes off for the STC, but he doesn't do anything with it. He's going to try to scan and kill some consumers, make use of that stim. I like that. Making the stim worthwhile.
Might as well. And that's going to slow things down there a little bit. Oh, he doesn't get the creep.
That would have been huge because that would have been all the tumors below the ramp.
Yeah.
He wants to attack this third base location of Revival. Revival seems pretty prepared, though.
I don't know. That's a lot of Zerglings. Well, here he comes. Zerglings and Banelings, some Roaches, some Mutas. And is it going to be enough? Some nice splitting, avoiding the banelings. Really nice splitting by oGs the STC, but it is not anywhere near enough. Reinforcements coming in, but they just may die too. It's a good amount of roaches. Only one medevac. I don't know.
Marines targeting down the mutas, killing a lot here, and in fact, even though he didn't win this fight, he did a lot of damage.
Yeah, those
cleaning up those mutas is very important.
Kind of traded armies there.
I'm just going to give you guys some unit counts here. We've got 51 SCVs to 51 drones, 4 Mirars, a medevac, a Viking, and 8 Marines to 6 Zerlings, 4 mutas, and 6 roaches. So very, very even game here in supply. Both these guys are tiny armies.
Well, I mean, if TSL Revival can whittle down the Marine count while building up his muta count, he can do what a lot of Zergs have been preferring to do lately in TVZ, which is just kind of overrun the Terran with Zerg, or with Zerg, obviously, with mutas. Exactly. Going to overrun them with Protoss. So just a lot of mutas. Mass muta seems to be like the popular thing to do on the
get Neural Parasite and overrun the Terran with Terran.
Yeah, that as well, definitely. Not wanting to take any damage from the turret quite yet. Looks like this probably not going to need to be canceled. Yeah, the Hellions just kind of see it and move on. They're going to try to get in here and kill some more drones. This could do some damage.
Nice burrow, but he is scanning. And the drones are no longer mobile, so he's able to target them down exactly how he wants.
Whoa, that's a big pack of drones.
Oh.
And barely saving those.
Yeah, could have gotten 4 there if he had targeted those.
Yeah, nice job by Revival.
In all, workers killed, though, for the SCC is 46. Just 2 for Revival. He's only killed 2 of those guys, including the SCV that was building the bunker at the beginning of the game.
That SCV was born to die.
Some units are in StarCraft. That's how it is.
Yeah, no, banelings.
Gotta make these choices, man. There's the general of the army. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Now,
Jinx, you owe me a soda. Oh, we were gonna go to the 24-hour mart after this. You're gonna have to buy me a Pepsi.
You're gonna need
I'll let you go though, and I'll let you go. I'll let you go first since you have to buy me a Pepsi now.
Well, now I can't remember what I was going to say. Well, I think I was going to talk about the Mutalist count.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about too.
It's starting to get to scary levels. We're on the same page.
We're on the same page, man.
That's right.
Now you guys are on the same page with us. There are 21 mutas out. They are in the base, wrecking havoc. Are they going to stop siege mode? Nope, because they're going to leave.
No, they're not.
That would have been pretty huge.
Yeah, so, I mean, the SCC is just kind of walking around the map with a smaller force. He's becoming a bit fragmented. We saw what happened to Phoenix when he tried that a little bit earlier today. You know, I mean, this impenetrable defense of the STC, I'm just not seeing it right now. He does have a good amount of mutas. That was actually a pretty good defense.
Yeah, 24 mutas out in total now.
I was waiting for him to say that.
The mutas do have +2 weapons for the flyer attacks, of course.
Yeah.
And that means those glaive worms are going to just slam through anything they hit.
And I'm kind of wondering about the gas for Revival right now. He's spending a lot of it on Banelings, too. He has a good amount of those, and his muta count is still kind of hovering around 15. If you're going to do it this way, you want to either go mass Ling Baneling and a few mutas, or huge amounts of mutas and then smaller amounts of Ling Banelings. If you kind of go in the middle, you're just not very good at like either thing. So,
well, he looks like,
I don't know. Oh,
he looks like he really, whoa, a lot of Banelings being caught here. I'm not sure that was a misrally. Oh no, losing even more of those.
Yeah.
In fact, he's going to lose some units over here as well.
Oh, some Banelings burrowed on the ramp there. STC is going to have to watch out for those.
I think what Revival wants to do is go for the mass muta, like long-term muta style. He's got +2 weapons already. He's getting +1 carapace right now.
Well, he's got 27 mutas right now.
That's true. I mean, he is upgrading them like crazy, though.
Here we go. That's a lot of Lings. That's a lot of mutas. Does the STC have enough? That is a lot of Marines. Whoa! Actually, the STC is going to kill a lot of mutas, man.
That little engagement was
pretty bad.
Revival was like, well, I'll just sneak in here, and he had no place to run. There were Thors, there were Marines, there were turrets.
Yeah.
But these Marines have nowhere to run.
He just lost about 10 mutas there.
Revival remaining ahead in supply. His income is about 700 minerals per minute, greater than that of the SCC, so that's including mules.
Yeah.
So the SCC not in a good spot from here. He has to put some pressure on now. He realizes this. His upgrades are really good, though. He's got 2-2 for his Marines. His vehicles already have +1. They're about to have +2. And the Marines are about to have +3 weapons.
Yeah, without the Infestors, it's going to be pretty difficult right now for Revival to break this. That all depends on STC's control as well. He's taking those Banelings around the outside to try to get a flank.
Such a good position here.
Yeah. Oh, here come the Banelings. Oh, no, they're all going to get killed by the tanks, but they kill a lot of Marines. That is only about maybe a fourth of the total army, though. Yeah, and now the rest of them are going to die. The siege tanks, things are not looking very good for Revival right now.
Yeah,
very nice tank spread by the STC.
40 Zerlings in production, but those Zerlings are not going to be very useful against very heavily upgraded Marines.
Yep.
The Mutas look like they want to go. Whoa! Huge Baneling run by. You guys didn't get to see. Didn't hit anything, though.
Yep,
that was a close call, but these Mutas are going to kill a lot of SCVs. Looks like he's just going to ignore that and go for the kill on Revival.
Yeah, he's trying to do as much harassment as he can, but I think it's a little bit too little too late. All Revival really needs, or all TSL, what am I trying? Wow, my vocal facilities have suddenly failed me. All right, the SCC, all he needs to do is defend. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep, and looks like Revival is going to come home with these Mutas. Maybe try to pick off some of these siege tanks because they are real damage dealers here, making the Banelings much less effective. Spawning Pool, Spire, and Baneling Nest all being remade because they were killed.
Banelings. Oh boy, a lot of Marines actually getting taken out by the Banelings.
Yeah, now what answer is there for these Mutas?
Not a whole lot, only one Thor as well. You know, a lot of it comes down to control. There's the Thor getting Magic Ox right now, and suddenly the STC is in a little bit of trouble. Going to lose all these tanks.
A lot of tanks. You remember these Mutas are heavily upgraded. They have 2-1 upgrades.
That's why Marine tank is so difficult. One little mistake and it turns the tide of the entire game.
Yeah, he just didn't split his Marines, and the SCC's stimming all of his Marines in the middle of the map for no reason. But now he's going to want to stim them again to help clean up these Mutas.
Yep, Revival right away pulling back those Mutas, not losing a single one. Yeah, TSL Revival is actually playing this really well, except for that one moment where he got a lot of Mutas killed by those Marines about 5 minutes ago or so.
Well, right now for income for these guys, Revival has twice the income of the SCC. Well, that's changing very rapidly. Actually, both these guys hovering around 740 minerals per minute.
Yeah.
As SCVs were transferred.
Things are pretty even right now. I mean, there's more drones than SCVs, but then there's mules as well. So.
Well, saturation.
Oh, nice. A lot of Marines getting taken out right now, and suddenly
this is looking really bad for the STC.
Suddenly the STC's hopes of victory are getting blown up.
Yeah, losing a lot of siege tanks. Marauders going down. And it looks like these medevacs and Marines may even be trapped. There are a lot of Mutas here, probably enough as well. Yeah, it's definitely going to be enough, and I think the STC may have to micro himself back into a corner, then type GG. Look at all those Marines. SCVs. Everything jives. GG.
And look at that. TSL coming back and evening things up a little bit. Revival, man. He may be the only Zerg on the team, but he's actually pretty strong.
He really is. He looks very pleased with himself after that win, and he should be.
Absolutely.
He played it really well, really patiently.
Yeah.
His Mutalist control was questionable at times, but overall he used them quite well. Controlled the game, used that heavy Muta style, upgraded them well, controlled them around the map, flew over Marines a few times. Well, that one time he flew over the Marines, it was like not his problem. Like he flew the Mutas in, then he got trapped in the back by Marines. There were Thors and there were also turrets. He was like, well, no matter where I go, I'm flying over something wrong.
He got out there, he minimized his losses. For the most part, he did a good job keeping the Mutalisks alive.
Very
Just
true.
a couple little missteps here and there. And, it's really interesting. That was a bit different than I've seen him play in the past, too. This very standard mutiling Baneling. And you actually don't see that quite as much as you used to anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost become too standard. It's like the Terran is like, all right, I know what you're doing now. I know what to do. And for the most part, STC did do what he needed to do. He just had that one big moment of miscontrol where he lost about probably 30 Marines or so, if not more.
When you miss one split, things get bad.
Yeah,
when you land on that one Baneling mine, when things are already bad, things get worse. And then when Mutas kill your planetary and all of your SCVs get blown up by 3 Banelings, I actually things can't get any worse than that.
Yeah,
that's
about as bad as it can get.
Your keyboard stops working, you're like, I can't even GG? What happens now?
I don't know. Then you just kind of like pull the keyboard out of the wall and throw it. I don't know.
You just come out of your booth and you're like trying to go like this and stuff in the middle of the room, and everyone's like, "What is this guy doing? Is he crazy?"
I don't know.
That's the only way things could get worse.
Gamers experience their rage in many different ways. Who is OGS TL going to send out next?
Could really be MC this time. I'm thinking we're going to see Nada, though.
I'm guessing Hero. Look at him right there. He's like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Oh, but it's
Nada. Told you, man.
Or is it?
Oh, is he going to fool us?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, I think it's actually him. He's just doing some high fives.
Yep. All right. Nada wouldn't mess with us.
No, he wouldn't.
So.
OGS brings Nada out at this time in series a lot. He is a very confident player. He plays all matchups extremely well, especially TVZ.
Yeah. And, you know, talk about a guy that's been around for a long time in StarCraft.
Look at those results.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. Probably one of the most consistent players we've had in the GSL. Not getting to any finals quite yet, but, you know, I feel like we're going to see him in there at least someday.
Funny, his most recent 2 seasons have definitely been his harshest.
Yeah.
There's the Gome Wizard. You guys actually get a glimpse of the Gome Wizard. I know I've talked about him a lot. That was him.
Yep.
You guys got your first glimpse of the Gome Wizard. That is him.
Disappear. Makes computers work again. He's waving his wand right now. It's just like below the table. You can't see it.
Pay no attention to the man behind Nada.
You're a wizard now, Nada.
We should actually start calling him Hagrid.
That is like, my mouse has unicorn hair inside of it. The mouse chooses you, Wolf.
He like puts the unicorn hair inside the mouse cord.
Yep. So it sounds like we're going to take a quick break here. 5 minutes. We'll be right back. OGS Nada versus TSL Revival. Don't go anywhere. This is the GSTL.